Most people quit because they can't handle being unseen. They want validation too early. They crave attention before they've earned results. But the grind doesn't reward the loud. It rewards the consistent. It rewards the one who keeps going even when no one cares. Because one day, the same people who ignored your struggle will celebrate your success. They'll say they always believed in you, but you'll remember the nights when it was just you against the world. That loneliness, that darkness, that's where greatness is born. In the grind, you learn to rely on yourself. You learn to be your own motivation. You stop waiting for someone to save you because you realize no one's coming. The world doesn't owe you anything. Every ounce of progress is earned through pain. You train your mind to keep going even when your body screams to stop. You keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because you made a promise to yourself. That's the difference. The weak need support to move, but the strong create movement through pain. There will be moments when you question everything, when your vision feels blurry, when the effort feels pointless, when quitting looks like peace. That's the test. That's where most people fall off. But if you push through those moments, if you learn to sit in the pain and keep grinding, that's where transformation happens. The grind doesn't care about your emotions. It only responds to effort. It demands everything and gives nothing until you've proven that you can handle the weight of your own potential. When you walk this path long enough, you stop fearing loneliness. You start embracing it. The silence becomes fuel. The pain becomes proof. You start to understand that being alone isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's in those isolated hours that you sharpen your edge. You're not missing out on anything. You're investing in something greater, yourself. Every drop of sweat, every broken limit, every lonely night is building a version of you that no one will recognize when you finally step out of the dark. The grind is lonely because it's not meant for everyone. It's meant for the ones who are willing to endure, who can take the hits and keep standing. It's meant for the ones who can turn pain into purpose and isolation into power. You don't need a crowd to believe in you. You don't need anyone to understand your journey. All you need is that fire inside that refuses to die when things get hard. Because the path to greatness doesn't have room for comfort, for company, or for weakness. It only has room for those who are willing to walk through the darkness alone until the light finally reveals who they've become. Prove them wrong through action. Don't waste your breath trying to convince people who already made up their minds about you. Doubters don't listen to words. They listen to results. You don't owe explanations, just execution. Every minute you spend arguing with people who don't believe in you is a minute stolen from your growth. Let them talk. Let them mock. Let them doubt. Because when you rise, when you succeed, when you transform into something they said you'd never be, your silence will be the loudest reply they'll ever hear. Words fade. Results echo forever. People will always doubt you because it's easier for them to question your ability than to confront their own lack of effort. They project their fears onto you because it's safer than admitting they gave up. They'll say you're not good enough, not talented enough, not capable enough, and that's fine. Let them. Because while they're talking, you're building. While they're wasting time, debating what's possible, you're out there proving what is. The best revenge is not anger. It's not trying to defend yourself. It's waking up every day and putting in the kind of work that turns disbelief into silence. Action is the language that everyone understands. You can't argue with consistency. You can't debate results. When you show up day after day, even when no one's watching, you start to build evidence, not for them, but for yourself. You start to see the gap between who you were and who you're becoming. And that progress, that transformation, is what shuts people up faster than any argument ever could. You don't need to say, "I told you so." Your discipline will say it for you. There's a fire that comes from being doubted. It's painful, but it's powerful. Every insult, every eye roll, every laugh behind your back can either break you or build you. The difference is what you choose to do with it. Some people take doubt as a reason to quit. Others take it as fuel. You decide which one you'll be. Because when you channel that pain in your purpose, it becomes unstoppable energy. It drives you when you're tired. It keeps you focused when others get distracted. It reminds you of why you started when the process gets hard. That's how you turn hate into hunger. You'll realize that the best way to prove them wrong isn't to talk louder. It's to work harder. You don't fight doubters with emotion. You fight them with evolution. You let your growth make them question everything they thought they knew about you. They said you wouldn't make it, yet here you are still pushing, still grinding, still moving forward when most people would have quit. That's proof. That's evidence. And it's something they can't deny. You have to learn to love being underestimated. There's power in being the underdog. When no one believes in you, you're free. You're free from expectations, from pressure, from noise. You get to move in silence and build without eyes watching your every move. You get to surprise the world. There's something beautiful about that moment when people realize they were wrong about you. But that moment doesn't come from talking. It comes from putting your head down and doing the work nobody expected you to do. The doubters aren't your enemy. They're your motivators. They're the background noise that reminds you to keep moving. Every time you hear someone say you can't, remember that they're only speaking from their own limits, not yours. You don't need to match their energy. You just need to keep climbing, because eventually they'll have no choice but to watch you succeed from the sidelines. There's no need to announce your progress. There's no need to explain your vision. Just execute. Let your actions speak a language that doesn't require translation. Results don't need defending. They stand on their own. Keep your circle small, your head down, and your focus locked in. Don't stop to argue with people who have already decided they don't believe in you. They'll believe soon enough when your consistency turns into momentum and your momentum turns into success. When you grind long enough, something shifts. The same people who laughed will start asking how you did it. The same people who doubted you will start calling it luck. But deep down, you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was persistence. It was pain turned into purpose. It was hours of invisible effort when nobody cared. You didn't prove them wrong with words. You proved them wrong with your transformation. You showed them that talk is cheap, but execution is priceless. Pain is the hidden partner of success. It's the part no one talks about, the chapter that gets skipped when people tell success stories. Everyone wants the glory, the recognition, the victory, but nobody wants to go through what it actually takes to earn it. Pain is the price you pay for greatness. It's not your enemy, it's your ally. It's the silent force shaping you into something stronger, sharper, and more relentless. Every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt, every ounce of struggle writes your story before the world ever gets to read it. Pain teaches what comfort never can. Comfort makes you soft, but pain builds you. It tears you apart and forces you to rebuild yourself with stronger pieces. When everything feels heavy, when you're mentally and physically exhausted, that's where growth hides. Those moments you think you can't keep going are the exact moments that define who you are. Most people run from pain. They seek shortcuts, they look for easy routes, but the truth is, success doesn't live where it's comfortable. It lives where it hurts. You can't earn confidence without discomfort. You can't build discipline without struggle. Pain is the test that filters out the weak. It separates the dreamers from the doers. The people who make it to the top aren't there because they were lucky. They're there because they learned how to suffer and keep moving anyway. They turned pain into purpose. When everyone else stopped, they kept going. That's the difference between someone who talks about success and someone who embodies it. Every drop of sweat is a sentence in your story. Every failure is a paragraph. Every sacrifice is a chapter. The world only reads the finished book. They see the triumphs, the applause, the success, but they don't see the pages soaked in sweat, tears, and exhaustion. They don't see the nights you doubted yourself, the mornings you didn't want to get up, the pain you swallowed just to keep pushing forward. That pain is invisible to them, but it's everything to you. It's what gives your story depth, meaning, and truth. Pain humbles you. It strips away the ego, the arrogance, the illusion of control. It reminds you that growth isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to hurt because that hurt is proof that you're expanding beyond your limits. The more you resist pain, the more you delay your own evolution. But when you learn to accept it, to welcome it, you start to realize it's not there to destroy you. It's there to build you. Every obstacle you face, every setback you survive is a conversation between who you were and who you're becoming. Pain is the mirror that shows you what you're made of. It reveals your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, but it also reveals your strength. You learn that pain doesn't last forever. What lasts is what it creates inside you: resilience, discipline, and a fire that can't be extinguished. That's why success tastes so different when you've earned it through pain. It's not handed to you. It's forged in every hardship you endured. The world doesn't celebrate pain, but it celebrates what pain produces. It sees the result, not the process. But deep down, you'll always know that every ounce of success came from something you were once afraid to face. Pain shapes your character when the spotlight is off. It's the long hours, the failure, the disappointment, the rejection. All of it adds weight to your story. And when the world finally reads it, they'll only see the glory, never realizing the suffering that came before it. There's beauty in the pain because it means you're still fighting. It means you care enough to push through what others avoid. Every drop of sweat on your face, every muscle that aches, every mental battle you win in silence is proof that you're still in the game. You're still chasing something that matters. Pain doesn't stop you, it sculpts you. It turns your wounds into wisdom, your exhaustion into endurance, your frustration into focus. Success without pain is an illusion. The struggle is what gives success its value. It's what makes victory meaningful. Because when you look back one day, you won't remember the applause. You'll remember the nights you were on the edge, ready to give up but didn't. You'll remember the pain that tried to break you and failed. And that pain, the one that felt unbearable, will always be the reason you became unshakable. Success needs no validation. You don't need approval to chase your dream, and you don't need applause to keep going. The world loves to judge before it understands. People will question your path, your motives, your vision, because they can't see what you see. They'll doubt your ability because they can't comprehend your discipline. But success doesn't need an audience to grow. It grows in silence, in solitude, in the unseen hours when no one's watching. When you finally win, your silence will echo louder than their words. You won't need to explain yourself because the results will do all the talking. Validation is a trap that keeps people stuck. They crave likes, attention, and approval more than they crave progress. They want to be seen doing the work more than they want to actually do the work. But true success doesn't come from being seen. It comes from being consistent when nobody's paying attention. Every great achievement is born in obscurity. Every legend was once doubted, misunderstood, or ignored. The difference between those who rise and those who remain forgotten is simple. The successful ones stopped seeking validation and started chasing growth. When you stop needing people to notice your grind, you free yourself. You start moving differently. You no longer care about proving them wrong. You focus on proving yourself right. You stop explaining your vision to small minds that will never understand it. Because not everyone will get it. Not everyone is supposed to. Some people can't see past their own limits, and they'll project those limits onto you. But that's their problem, not yours. Your job isn't to convince anyone of your worth. It's to live in a way that your results make it undeniable. Validation is for the insecure. It feeds the ego, but starves the soul. When you live for approval, you give people power over your peace. You start moving according to their expectations instead of your purpose. You start doubting yourself every time someone doesn't clap for you. But the truth is, success doesn't require an audience. It requires endurance. It demands that you keep showing up even when nobody's acknowledging your effort. Because one day, when it all comes together, the same people who stayed silent will be the loudest to praise you. Silence is power. When you grind in silence, when you move with focus instead of noise, you become unpredictable. People can't criticize what they can't see. They can't block what they don't know is coming. The quiet worker always wins because while everyone else is busy showing off progress, you're stacking victories behind closed doors. Then, one day, when your results are too big to ignore, the silence you kept will echo louder than every doubt, every insult, every piece of criticism thrown your way. Success doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for approval. It doesn't explain itself. It just arrives. And when it does, it changes everything. The people who doubted you will pretend they believed. The ones who ignored you will start reaching out. The same crowd that once questioned you will want to learn from you. But you won't need their validation then, because you'll know what it cost you to get there. You'll know the pain, the nights of sacrifice, the moments when you almost quit but didn't. You'll understand that their opinions never mattered, because their applause didn't build you. Your work did. When you understand that success needs no validation, you stop chasing people and start chasing purpose. You begin to value peace over praise, process over popularity. You realize that the only person you need to impress is the one in the mirror. That's where the real battle is. Not improving yourself to others, but improving to yourself that you can become everything you said you would be. You start to realize that success isn't loud, it's calm. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've done the work. You can't fake results. You can't fake consistency. And you can't fake the satisfaction that comes from silent achievement. When you finally reach your goals, you won't need to shout about it. Your life, your transformation, your presence will speak louder than any words ever could. Success isn't something you announce. It's something you embody. It's in how you walk, how you carry yourself, how you no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Because once you've built something real, once you've earned it through pain, patience, and persistence, you realize that validation is meaningless. The silence of your victory will drown out every doubt that ever existed, and the world will finally see what you always knew you were capable of becoming.